this video, we're going to take a further look at linear graphing and linear functions. And we're going to talk about the point-slope formula, which is a formula that says that if you are given a point, and we'll say that the point is x1, y1, and you're given a slope, m, then you use this formula. Use y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So let's take a look at some examples. We're going to start out with a point 3, 4, and we have a slope of 2. So we're going to plug that into our formula. So in our case, our y1 is 4, our x1 is 3, and our slope is 2. So that's going to give us y minus 4 equals 2 times x minus 3. And then we can distribute on the right-hand side. So we have 2x minus 6 equals y minus 4. So now we add 4 to both sides. So the equation of our line will be y equals 2x minus 2. Let's take a look at another example. Our point is -1, 1, and our slope is -2/3. So we're going to say y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So our y1 was 1, our x1 is -1, and our slope is -2/3. So when we clean it up a little bit, we're going to have y minus 1 equals -2/3 times x plus 1. Now we distribute our -2/3, so we're going to have -2/3 x minus 2/3, and that's going to equal y minus 1. So now we need to add 1 to both sides. But before we add 1 to the right-hand side, let's notice that we're going to need a common denominator. So let's go ahead and instead of adding 1, let's add 3/3, which of course 3/3 is 1. So we're going to have y equals -2/3 x plus 1/3. Let's take a look at another example. So our point is -3, -2. And our slope is -5/4. So let's go ahead and fill out our template. So let's go ahead and put everything where it goes. Okay, so let's clean that up a little bit. Now, if we don't want to do as much work with fractions as we did in the last example, we can simply multiply everything through by 4. So when we multiply everything through by 4, we're going to clear this denominator. So let's do that. So we're going to have 4 times y plus 4 times 2 is going to equal 4 times negative 5/4 times x plus 3. So we're going to have 4y plus 8 equals, now over here the 4's cancel out, that's going to equal negative 5 times x plus 3. Now let's distribute. So we're going to have negative 5x minus 15 is going to equal 4y plus 8. So now we need to subtract 8 from both sides. So we're going to get 4y equals negative 5x minus 23. And now we can divide everything by 4. So that gives us y equals negative 5/4 x. So as you can see, we still wind up with fractions, but we didn't really have to do very much with fractions while we were going because we got rid of the fraction up front. Let's take a look at another example. In this example, we're given 2 points, and we're told to find the equation of the line containing the 2 points. So our first point, we'll call that point 1, is going to be 0, 3. And point 2 is going to be 3, 5. So we need to find our slope. Well, remember our slope is going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Let me write that formula down for us. So our formula here for slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we're going to have 5 minus 3 over 3 minus 0. So that's going to give us 2 over 3, or 2/3. So now we do have a point and we have a slope, so we can use either of the 2 points that we were working with. Let's go ahead and use point number 1. So point 1 was 0, 3. And we now know that the slope that we're working with is 2/3. So let's put that into our template. Go ahead and distribute the 2/3, and that's just going to give us 2/3 x. Now we're going to add 3 to both sides. And we wind up with y equals 2/3 x plus 3. Now, many homework management systems, such as MyMathLab, etc., will often say, in an example like this, please express your answer in terms of the standard form. Well, what we see here is called the Slope-Intercept Form, because here we have our slope, and here we have our intercept. But of course, that's not standard form, and if we don't put it in the form they want it, they're going to mark it wrong, of course. So let's change that. Let's put that in standard form. Okay. So remember, standard form says ax plus by equals c, and a, b, and c are integers. So I guess we would say as an element of the integers. So I'm going to multiply everything by 3 to start with. So I'm going to go 3 times y equals 3 times 2/3 x plus 3 times 3. So I'm going to get 3y equals 2x plus 9. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want to subtract 9 from both sides. So I'm going to have 3y minus 9 equals 2x. So now let's subtract 3y from both sides. And we're going to wind up with 2x minus 3y equals negative 9. And we can now, of course, change that order if we want to, and we can say 2x minus 3y equals negative 9. So that is in standard form. So there's a quick look at working with the point-slope formula. Thank you for watching.